How you doing, sir?
Hello, how you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
All right, I can hear you too.
All right,
So
cool. What's your name?
my name is Femi. F
Femi?
yeah, Femi. 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 And
Femi. Okay, Femi, nice to meet you, man. My name is Will.
nice to meet you. I've been watching you since the first time you joined to the show. I love what you do. I love that you bring a different energy. So keep doing what you are doing. Now I do have my personal question. Um, my question is really, you can tell by my accent, I was born and raised in Africa, in West Africa, and I've been in this country for the past 15 years, I would say. And I want to know your opinion, um, if there is a divide or community between, how they say, foundational Black American and us immigrant African. I'm just going to give you a quick context and then let you answer. I personally feel that even though we might share the same skin complexion, there is a, I don't want to call it a competition, but there is a divide between those two communities. So I wanted to know your opinion on that. Do you believe it's relevant to feel apart, feel different, or do you think that we should come together, we are the same, the rest of the United States see us the same way? And I let you speak.
Well, thank you for the question. I think it's a great question. I talk about this quite extensively from time to time. Now, I'm not a historian. I'm not an anthropologist. I'm not. I have zero credentials to talk about what I'm going to talk about. All I have is a perspective and a belief that people argue all the time, but they can't prove me wrong. They could just argue it. I can't prove me right, but they can't prove me wrong. Black people and African people are not the same people. You are not my people. You might be super cool, super dope, and I may get to know you on a personal level, and we may become best of friends, and then you would be my person, my people, right? You know, like, oh, that's my brother from another mother. But as far as like people group, we're not the same. I'm not from Africa. My people are not from Africa. I'm not descendants of Africans. Notice again, I can't prove what I'm saying, but it's just my perspective, and you could accept it or you could discard it, and I'm cool with either. Um, Notice how you said you are West African, so you identified a continent that you're from. You identified the hemisphere of the continent that you're from. What country did you say?
So the country I was born is called Senegal. We speak French. So
Senegal. Okay, so you're from Senegal, right? And it's Senegalian. How do y'all refer to yourself?
Senegalese.
Senegalese. Okay, like Guyanese, Senegalese. Okay, Senegalese. So you're Senegalese. Notice you didn't say you were black.
I could have said that because
You could have, but you wouldn't. You wouldn't. No Senegalese say I'm black. They say I'm Senegalese. You identify the country you are from. And there's nothing wrong with that. You should be proud of being what you are. You don't control where you were born. You don't control the people group you derive from. However, you are from that people group.
so
Senegalese. Go ahead.
sorry. So where I'm getting with that is more that I wonder the should, because when you think about it, if you and I are sitting on the bus and any other race come in the bus, let's say a white person, an Asian person, without us talking, I'm sitting on one side and you are sitting on that side. I don't think there would be an inclination to sit more next for that person to sit more next to him. I mean, to me than to you. So that's I wonder that is it us, um, African from the motherland and foundational Black American that create that divide when for the rest of the world they just go by our complexion and for them we are the same.
Well, I mean, again, great observation, right? Because that's true. A non-Senegalese or African person, non-black person will get on the bus and they will see us and see two black people. Because we live in America, they will see two black people. But the reverse is true. If you and I was to be hanging out and we got on the bus and we saw a Frenchman and a Dutchman, we would say two white guys. And they'll say, I'm French, I'm Italian, I'm German. They're not going to say I'm white. They're going to identify their native country. That's who I am. Now, we can whitewash it and just say, oh, they white. That's our ignorance. Someone seeing us both on the bus, calling us both black, that's their ignorance. The moment they start talking to us, they will see a clear divide. We're not the same. And then they will ask you, where are you from? They're probably not going to ask me, where am I from?
So your takeaway is that both people should focus on their similarity, or try to really, like you just say at the beginning, I'm not you, you are not me, you are not my people. Like, what is more important to do once? Because if I were to stay in Senegal, the question wouldn't apply. But for immigrant or lovers that come, and then I don't want to say look down or look up, is we have our prejudice when we come, and then we realize that I'm not going to get along with Will like that, because the way he brought up 500 years of history of what have happened to lead you to the person you are. I found personally, this is my answer to my question. I found it unfortunate that we will choose to focus more on our differences, rather than saying that, hey, is let's find our similarity, let's come together. I think that's what we should preach, rather than say you are as different to me as an Indian or a Mexican. I think that because we share the same complexion, and even biologically the history is the same, there should be a bridge right there, easy way. Just one more point. You have a lot of people that do those genetic tests to find out where they come from Africa. So to me, that's reaching your hand. And as African, when that happened, we shouldn't feel the other way and say that, oh no, well, it's been 500 years ago, it doesn't matter. I think that if anything, we should come together, rather than thinking, well, there is so much thing that set us apart.
Well, again, I'm gonna give you some perspective on it, right? And again, take it or discard it. I'm okay with either. But notice how, if I was to go to Senegal, I wouldn't go to Senegal trying to figure out how similar we are. I will go to Senegal to appreciate the differences. I will go to Senegal to respect that this is your home, this is your land, this is how you guys cultivate the soil, this is what you do, this is your dance, your attire, this is your customs, this is how you show respect to men and women and children, or whatever the case may be. I will take all that in, step back, look at it all from afar, and then dive into it and try to ingratiate myself into your culture. When in Senegal, do as the Senegalese and show your differences, because you're not from Senegal. But don't show your differences in a way that's disrespectful to the countrymen. So I think if what you guys did is stop thinking of us as descendants from Africa, and think of us as true Americans, and think of this country as our country, that pillagers and colonizers came and pillaged, raped, stole, burned, and did us harm. If you view America as a place belonging to Black people, then you will appreciate our customs. You will come here and try to ingratiate yourself into how we do things. And you will show us that you are different because you're from Senegal. You're not from America. And stop trying to be like, oh, we're the same. We're not the same. Because when you go to Nigeria, you're both from Africa, but you're not Nigerian. And when it comes to those DNA tests, they always link us to Nigeria. They always link us to maybe Nigeria and or Liberia. They don't, or maybe Ghana. They don't link us to Egypt. They don't. Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. So are you saying that the biology, the science behind it's not relevant? It's not. It wouldn't be. It's a lie. Okay, that's.
It's a lie. It's a propaganda. It's to push money. I mean, do you know how many billions of dollars that these people make? So you're going to tell me, you're going to test my blood, and you're going to tell me where I came from? You're going to tell me where my people were born by testing my blood?
Let me ask you it this way then, and then I will let other people in the background if they want to join. So you do not see a big missed opportunity in me trying to connect with you, because we could possibly share the same ancestral DNA and those kind of things, that historically the reason why most of FBA are here is because they came from Africa. You don't think that reaching your hand, that's the good way to go about it? You personally,
no, I think you can reach your hand and just reach your hand to connect. Say, hey, man, I just want to get to know you guys, you Americans. Because when you guys go to the UK, Black people are not from the UK.
Correct.
But when you guys go to the UK, you treat the UK as the UK, and you ingratiate yourself into the UK customs, and you don't try to say, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. We know the
So it's
people.
different. Your comparison wouldn't apply so much because there was not such a slave trade of a bunch of black people in UK that I could go and try to relate to.
Because the slave trade didn't happen.
I mean, for the UK, it was not like they didn't bring so many of them in the UK. So that's why
the slave trade to America. Listen, we were already here. They came and tried to take. Well, I mean, regardless on if it was some, we were here. That's like think about this. If you go to France,
yeah,
Frenchmen are there.
Yes,
you may bring some slaves with you. They may ingratiate themselves in the land over generations of having babies and everything, and now they call themselves French. But that doesn't eradicate the original Frenchmen. Now you have these hybrid French people who are really Africans, and they are now French because they can't trace their lineage back to France. I mean, back to Africa. As far as they know, they've been in France their whole lives.
Fair enough.
So in America, and again, no proof to back this up.
Yeah,
this is my belief. There's not a person on planet Earth. There's not a person on planet Earth that's going to change my mind.
Okay.
We can have civil discourse and talk about it. You will never convince me that people went back and forth across the Atlantic Ocean transporting people when they could just enslave the people of that land. You will never convince me that I will waste my time going back and forth from what we know as America to Africa, or from Europe to Africa to America, or from Europe to Africa to the Caribbean to America. And I'm just going to keep doing that over and over. Why not just come enslave the people that are here?
Okay, I see what you're saying. Now, I'm no expert in that, but as far as Senegal, we were a big port of entry where, like, there is an island called Gorée where a lot of everyone from the West Africa was all centralized to send there. So the point I'm saying is that as far as I know, there is proof, there is historical record, and even in school, we teach us that growing up about how the slave trade worked. So it's just going to be opinion against opinion. I'm not well versed enough for me to say that, oh no, you are wrong, and this is exactly how it happened. The last thing I want to leave you on this topic is if we look at today, 2025, again, I don't know the number, but if we say how well in America immigrants from Africa do compared to how well, just statistically, how well Americans who have been here foundational for century, how well are they doing? How would you will explain the difference between, I don't know, like it's subjective, right, to measure success, but you can use a specific number. You can use how much income they make, how much money they have on their bank account. You can judge what's their education. But you know what I'm saying? Like, do you see this as a competition, or do you see it as this is just two different lanes, the same way you wouldn't compare yourself to a white American or Indian American or Japanese American? Do you understand my question? Do you follow me?
I understand. I think the problem is preconceived notions. And I think the problem is expectations that are unsubstantiated. If I was to leave America and go to Senegal, do you think I will surpass Senegalese, or do you think I will fall short to Senegalese?
See that, to me, I will answer in two parts. There is that individual aspect. You're gonna find one will that do very well and one will that do poorly. But statistically, if I were to look at 100 of them that came to Senegal, I would say the majority of them might do, I would say, as much as well as the one that were born and raised. I wouldn't see a disproportion, because that's what I heard in statistics. That other immigrants, when they come to America, they do way better than the Black foundational American that are here. And I'm trying to understand why is that.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because Senegal is not known for what Akon is doing over there is trying to really change Senegal, right? But Senegal as a country, and I'm not a geography. I'm not great. I'm good with geography, like locating stuff and certain stuff in places. But I'm not a historian. So if I say something that's wrong, please charge it to my. Don't charge it to my heart, because I'm not trying to say nothing disparaging about anybody's countries. I'm just say I misspoke, right? Give me the grace to misspeak. Sure. So Senegal as we all know, is not a flourishing nation like the United States of America.
For sure. Yeah.
So you don't come to the United States of America to not get into a capitalist society. So you come here and you recognize the opportunities that exist here that people here don't necessarily see because they're so caught up in race baiting. They're so caught up in sexism. They're so caught up in the LGBTQ community. They're so caught up in these social problems that they leave the economic stuff to the people who want to get that paper. So when y'all come here, y'all don't ingratiate yourselves in the social discourse. Y'all go right to the economics. Y'all come and y'all go to the career paths they're going to give y'all wealth. Y'all go to be doctors, scientists. Y'all go into business. Like y'all don't come here to be teachers. Y'all don't.
There's two types of immigrant, right? They are the one that, yes, come with the visa and become all those successful. And then there are people that you see in the back of a kitchen or in a car wash. Like you have two different types of immigrant, not all of them.
You're going to work hard, but see, a teacher is a career that's a dead-end career when it comes to economics, right? You don't get rich being a teacher.
For sure.
Working at a car wash is how you ingratiate yourself into society and you start to learn how to move about, and then you figure out your lane, and y'all always looking for an opportunity because y'all know this is the land of opportunity. Yeah. See, if I was to go to Senegal, I'm probably trying to slow my life down.
Yes.
But I'm going to bring wealth with me, or I'm going to say, hey, I can live like a king off less because the economy, the country is just not on par with the United States.
The currency too. But then by your answer, why could Will that is born and raised in America do as well? Because if the opportunity is there, you saying that they are just blinded and they don't, is that a lack of accountability for those people that were, how would you justify if another person can come and make it, and you are saying that this is because that was his goal from the get-go, that's why they came for, what about the person that was born and raised here? Why couldn't
I would have the same perspective that most Africans have, that they don't say, that most blacks here are stupid. Most blacks here are lazy.
Your word.
Well, yeah, my words. I'm not gonna bite my tongue for nobody. So listen, I will see you, sir. Me, not black people, me. I will see you. And I will see you come over here, and I will see your grind, and I will say, man, he's really making it happen. And I will be like, Femi, I will come try to build a bridge with you and try to figure out what you're doing, because you see something that I cannot see. I'm from here, and so I'm blinded to certain things. Go ahead.
Would you say that you cannot see, or you do not want to see?
I cannot see.
Do you not know better? No one else told you this could be the way. You just have to do this thing that Femi is doing?
No, you're right. No, there's times where I'm willfully blind, and there's other times where I'm actually figuratively blind, because I cannot see opportunity that you see. You may see an opportunity, like you know how we're talking about the tariffs, and they say, not the tariffs, when they talk about kicking all the immigrants out, the illegals, and they're like, well, who's going to pick our strawberries? Somebody will pick strawberries, but you don't see black people trying to put themselves in position to have a strawberry patch, do you?
Yeah.
See, you might say, I'll start my own strawberry patch. Where you see opportunity, we just complain because we have things that are what we consider beneath us. We have a government that provides Social Security. There's no Social Security in Senegal, is there?
I mean, it's very little. It has nothing. Yeah. It doesn't hold the candle.
Is there welfare in Senegal?
Again, small programs, you cannot compare them.
So there's a lot of things that, because we have these liberties, we cannot see what you would see.
Okay.
Now we can dive into it and find out exactly what that is. I'm just trying to give you the overall understanding that not all blacks are willfully blind. Okay. A lot of us are willfully blind, to your point, where they do know their opportunities exist there, but because they've been socially conditioned to just complain, to not see opportunity. If you've been engineered to not see opportunity, you're not going to see it, even if it's smacking you in the face.
I understand.
Last thing I'm gonna say to wrap it up. I own a sales company.
I heard that. You've been very clear about that.
My objective in my sales company is to bring every salesperson that's in my company to an annual income of $175,000 a year or more. Do you know how many people contact me to see what that opportunity looks like,
Very little.
if any.
Well, good
So,
luck.
sir,
It's gonna
it's
happen.
willful blind, and sometimes they just cannot see it because we think everything is a scam. We think everybody is trying to get over on us.
That's what you mean.
So at the end of the day, sir, welcome to America. Thank you for camming up and having a conversation with me. I
Yeah,
respect and
my
appreciate
pleasure too. And I will try to
expressing the
see you more
comments.
often. Thank you
Man,
again.
thank you very much, brother. Pleasure meeting you.